Today I will show you how you can really easily create awesome realistic explosion effect in Photoshop. So let's start. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another really fun episode. I'm really thrilled about this one because I'm a huge fan of special effects like fire, ice, smoke, debris, explosions, etc. And today we will have a lot of fun creating this really cool realistic explosion effect in Photoshop. And you will learn a lot of interesting tips, tricks and techniques. But before we jump straight into Photoshop and start making this awesome effect, I just want to say that this episode is sponsored by Skillshare, so thank you Skillshare for this great opportunity. Skillshare is a huge online learning community with more than 25,000 classes in practically whatever you can think of, like graphic design, photography, videography, science, storytelling, cooking, animation, I don't know, whatever you can think of, they have it. I personally use Skillshare to improve some skills, to get some new skills in video editing and animation, but you can go there and learn whatever you want. So for example, you want to learn how to animate the explosion effect that we will create today, or how to create awesome intros for your videos, or to learn some new 3D skills, or I don't know, whatever you can think of, Skillshare is a great place to go. And they're pretty affordable. The annual subscription is less than $10 per month. And because Skillshare is sponsoring this episode, for first 500 of you guys who follow the link down there in the description, you will get 2 months completely free of premium account on Skillshare. So that means that you will get unlimited access to all classes there. So I advise you to take this opportunity and to go there, and you will have 2 months to learn whatever you want completely free, and then if you like it you can continue with the subscription. If not, you can just cancel it, no questions asked. So one more time, take advantage of this really cool free opportunity just for first 500 of you guys, so be fast. Right guys, now let's jump straight into Photoshop and let the fun begin. Right guys, we are here in Photoshop and today we will work on this interesting image of a snowboarder in jump. But basically you can work on any image that you like, because as you saw at the beginning on a few examples, this effect will pretty much work on anything. So you can use some kind of dancer or car, or maybe some jump scene, or maybe even some just ordinary portrait. It will fit really nicely. Just try, experiment and you will see. Okay, so first thing what you need to do in order to start making this effect is to extract the model or the subject out of the background. In case you don't know how to select anything in Photoshop and later extract it, you can watch my tutorial about that on the link right here. Because this is pretty simple scene, I will just go to quick selection tool, select subject and wait for a few moments for Photoshop to select it, or I could just use quick selection tool and quickly select it. Then I can go to select and mask and just refine a few things here and there, but basically that's it. Photoshop did the heavy lifting for me, and I will press OK. Now I will press Ctrl or Command J to put it on a separate layer, rename it to model, and there you have it. I have a model on a separate layer. So now I will create a new layer between the model and the background, and actually I will fill it with a black, because black is foreground color. I will press Alt on a Windows or Option on a Mac, backspace, and that's it. This is the first step. Okay, the next step is to create some kind of smoke or big cloud shape behind the model. And to be able to do that, you need to have some kind of custom-made smoke, cloud, dust brushes. And I already have a tutorial on how to create a realistic smoke effect with those custom-made smoke brushes. You can watch it on a link right here. Or you can use my set of custom-made smoke, dust, cloud brushes. You can purchase them on my website, and they're just $1, so it's up to you. The link is down there in the description. Okay, let's go back to our scene. I will use white brush. I will go select brush, right click, and as you can see I have my set of custom made cloud, dust, smoke brushes, and I have a new one here added, fluffy dual cloud brush, that I already included in this set at my web store. So in case you already purchased them, you can just go log in back to the store and re-download this set with the new brush included. Okay, I will use this new brush to create this kind of effect. I will make it bigger and just paint with this, just a little bit here and there. And this is really cool. Make it smaller, maybe like that. and this will practically be explosion. Everything that is this cloud shape, it will be explosion. I really like it. And now I will go and use another brush. Maybe I will use this one. Okay, that's cool. Maybe lower the opacity to 30, and I just want to add a little bit of depth to the image, so a little bit darkness, a little bit brightness. So I'm just painting with black and white color. I will change the brush to this one. I love this one a lot, so a lot of black and white just to add some kind of depth to the image. This is really important. Okay, and don't worry, if you don't know how this will look at the end, you can always go back later and change this effect. You can change how this looks practically at the very end, so don't worry about it. Okay, so this will be okay for a start. Now the next step is to colorize this cloud. Of course, you could use brush in the colors and paint this in the colors, but I like to have it like black and white because later I can change it to any color that I like really easily. We'll see. So the next step is to go about the model. I will use solid color adjustment layer, use some kind of orange color, something like that, press OK and put it in a color blending mode. So everything is now orangey, but this is too much. I will lower the opacity something around 50 or so. And now I will go with another solid color adjustment layer, and I will use reddish color. That's cool. Put it in a color blending mode and lower the opacity a lot, something around 20 or 30%, you will see. And now I will go to the mask, press Ctrl or Command I to invert it, and with the same cloud brush, I just want to add this effect just on the edges right here. I need white brush, okay, and I will use 100% opacity. I just want the edges to be more red, so this is the idea. Okay, then maybe 20% opacity and just add this kind of transition. And this is really, really cool. So that's it. Let me see, maybe a little bit more, maybe like this. Okay, this is really cool for now, so let me see, maybe around 30% works for me fine. Okay, and let's go back to our smoke or cloud. Let's name it cloud. Okay, and I will go with curves adjustment layer. I will clip to affect only the cloud, and I will just add a little bit more contrast. As you can see, just a little bit more contrast to this cloud. So this is really cool. And also I will go right here at the top and add a little bit more contrast. I will boost the highlights and lower the shadows, so I will have some kind of real explosion effect. This is really cool, but I don't want to have it on whole image. I don't want to have it on this guy right there and all around it. I don't want to have it. So to be able to have just on the places that I like, I will just go on the mask, Control or Command I, invert it, and with the same brush, with the same cloud brush, I will just paint with the white and maybe 50% opacity and just build that effect. I will not worry about the snow border right now. You will see why. And as you can see, this is really cool. It already starts to look like it's a really cool, nice explosion. So really, really nice. That's cool. Okay, and now I will go and select our model, Control or Command and click on it. And now I have a selection of the model. Go back to this layer mask and fill it with the black. Because black is background color, I will press Control on Windows, Command on the Mac, backspace, and that's it. So this is before and after. You can see how much live this photo becomes. And now what I like to do, I like to go with another curves adjustment layer and to colorize this a little bit. So I want to go to red and add some reds to the shadows. This is cool. Also, I like to go to the blue and to add some yellows to the highlights and maybe a little bit blue to the shadows to have some kind of magenta look. That's really cool. And also I will go to levels and I want to wash out the whites. Okay, something like this, but I don't want to apply it on the whole image. So I will again invert the mask and paint with the white just here on the edges. I just want to have some kind of washed white colors, highlights actually at the edges. So this is really cool. Let me see. Yeah, I really like that. So this is a really nice effect for now. And now let me show you what I meant when I said you can always change this. You can go back to cloud layer and you can just paint, this is too much, with the white, as you can see, or with the black, and just build the effect of explosion however you want. You can add some kind of these kind of things, you know, you can play with that. It's really cool and easy to play. Okay, now let's go about the model, create a new layer and name it like a globe. And now I will use just a regular soft round brush like this. I will use some kind of grayish color like that and 100% opacity, and just go and paint around the model. This will be a globe. Don't worry about how this looks for now, because now it's really bad. What I like to do now, I like to erase the parts of this glow effect that is covering the model. But to be able to do that precisely, I will again load the model selection by pressing Ctrl or Command key, click on it to load, and then I will modify it. I will go to select, modify, contract, and I will contract by, let's try 50. That's really cool. And then I will go to select, modify, and feather it by 52, and maybe to contract it even more, maybe, let's see, modify, contract maybe by 20, and that's cool. Okay, now I will create a layer mask, and I need to invert the layer mask. Again, Control or Command I, and this is cool, and I just need to lower this effect. So before and after, really cool. You can just play with it. So this is just some kind of a glow. Now we need to add some kind of a glow, outer and inner glow on the model itself. There are plenty of ways how you can do it. You can paint around him, you can use a pen tool, you can transform selection in the path and then paint with the pen, etc. It's really huge palette of ways how you can do it, but I will show one really easy and fast way to do it. So you need to go to the model, double click it to load layer style dialog box, and just go to outer glow, choose some kind of grayish color, okay? Don't choose white, and just grayish color, put it from normal to linear dodge, and just play with the size. So maybe something like this will be cool. And then I want to go to inner glow. Again, some kind of a grayish color. This one will work pretty good. And inner glow, you can put it overlay, soft light, depends how intense you want, maybe screen, but I will go to linear dodge. I like to have intense effect, and just a little bit like on the edges right there, and that's okay. So before and after, it's really add to the overall effect. This is really cool. Okay, the next step is to add debris to the photo. So to be able to add debris, I will use again my custom-made debris brush that I already show you how to create it on. You can watch it on a tutorial on a link right there, or you can go to my website and purchase it just for $1. The link is down there in the description. So let's go back, and to add debris to the photo, I will create a new layer just below the model. To create a new layer below the current layer, you need to press and hold Control or Command key with a new layer pressed here. I will name this to debris 1, and I will go to my brush set, and let me see, I will use first one, and I will sample some dark color like this, and you can see this is really cool. Okay, and if I zoom it, let's really add to the effect, but I want to change the blending mode. I will put it to overlay or even soft light. You can see how it's really nicely blend with the explosion, and then I will add a new layer. I will name it debris number 2, and I will use another brush, bigger brush, okay, to create few bigger one, maybe even bigger. just undo a few times. This one is cool. So this looks nice. Maybe, let me see. Maybe this is too much. Okay, and now I'll show you one really cool trick how to add tridimensionality depth to the debris that I just created. So if I zoom this a little bit and make a copy of this debris number 2 by pressing Ctrl or Command J and go to a layer down below, so the first one that we copied, and invert it by press Ctrl or Command I, just invert it. If I hide first one, you'll see they're white. So I just need to move with the move tool active. I just nudge them with my arrows. As you can see, this is really cool. Just move it a few pixels to the left or right and we have some kind of depth, but I don't want these edges to be white. So I can load levels, so you can go to image adjustment levels or just press Ctrl or Command L. And here is a great trick. You just need to wash out the white, the highlights actually, not white, so a little bit. See, now they're more yellowish and I like that. I will press OK and this is really cool. Now I will go, maybe they're too separate, so one more. Something like this works, and I will select both of them, press Ctrl or Command E to merge them together, and this is really cool. Now I can apply some kind of effect on both of them. So first let's go to debris number 1 and blur them just a little bit. So filter, blur, and Gaussian blur just a bit. So see those behinds, just to have some kind of impression of depth. So this is cool. And then I can go to debris number 2 and go to filter, blur, and maybe radial blur with a zoom, maybe just 2 or just some small amount to have that impression that this is moving. So before and after, you can see like they're moving. You can even repeat the effect by pressing Ctrl or Command F and it will add to the effect. So this is really, really cool. Okay, so basically we are done with this. And now I will merge all the layers into one and do a final color correction that will even pop this image more. But before we do that, let me show you why I did those 2 solid color adjustment layers to colorize the cloud, the smoke in that way. So the beauty of this is that you can go back to color fill, to solid color adjustment layer and just change the color. So maybe you want to have like a bluish explosion, just choose blue or purple or green or whatever you want. So maybe blue, like cold explosion, and then change the surrounding color, so maybe darker blue or whatever you want. And this is it, you have like a blue explosion or maybe some kind of a green or I don't know, purple. This is really cool, etc. So this is really, really easy and simple way to change the color of the explosion and overall the effect by changing these 2 colors. I will undo this because I want to have regular explosion. Go all the way to the top, press Shift Ctrl Alt T or Shift Command Option E on a Mac and merge them into final layer. Go to filter, camera raw, and now I will just add some more impact to the image. So clarity a little bit. Then, as I show in my previous tutorial, texture. It's a really great way to add details to the image. That's really cool. Then maybe open shadows and lower blacks, add a little bit contrast, and let's go sharpen it a little bit. So sharpen it, add a mask by holding Alt option here. You can see what will be sharpened. Everything what is white will be sharpened, so something like this is cool. Then I can go to add a little bit vignetting, why not? And also I can go right here to split toning and add a little bit more orangey tint in the shadows and maybe some kind of yellow tint in the highlights. So this is cool. Before and after, you can see even more impact to the image. And this is it. I can lower the saturation, add the vibrance a little bit and press OK. And let me see. Before and after, really cool effect. There is another thing that we can do here before merging everything into one layer and applying final color correction. And I will show you what I mean by that. So let's rename this to CC, like color correction, hide it. And before we did all of this, we could go back to cloud layer. And as you can see, I made a mistake here. I painted my cloud on a black background layer instead on empty layer. So this is My bad, I was probably rushing and I didn't pay attention where I'm painting on, but this should be done differently. I will just paint a new cloud like I did at the beginning. Don't worry, I will just fix it. I will create a new layer, so this will be cloud. Okay, and down below I will create another layer and I will fill it with black. So this is it. And on this one I will just go and paint back cloud like we did at the beginning. So we'll just fast forward this, it's completely the same step. I'm just painting this cloud. Okay, I just painted the new cloud on a separate layer right here, and this is how I'm supposed to do in the beginning, to have my cloud on a separate layer, not on a black background, in order to be able to show you another trick. In case you just want to have this as a final version, the final image, explosion on a black background, it's perfectly okay to paint on a black background, but it's always better to have it on a separate layer in order you want to change your background. So now if I go back down below, hide my original cloud and then hide my black background to reveal the original background, we will have this kind of effect. So you can, maybe you want this kind of effect, the original background with the snowboarder, with the explosion in the background, or maybe you want to add different kind of background, different scene or whatever. So to be able to do that, make sure to paint your cloud for the explosion on a separate layer. It's good that I made a mistake, because now I can emphasize importance of painting the cloud on a separate layer. So let's go back to our final photo. I like it, I really like it on a black background. I think this is much better effect. It's more punchy image. So this is not like a big mistake, but it's really cool to know. Paint your cloud on a separate layer. So guys, this is how it looks. Let me show you one more time. Let's copy the background, bring it all the way up right there, and now I will just create a black layer mask and just invert it, and I just want to hide this link just to be able to show you before and after. So as you can see, or from this side maybe it's better, this is before and this is after, before and after. Really cool effect. So this is really cool, guys. I really love it. I'm thrilled about these special effects. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you learned some new awesome interesting tips, tricks and techniques from this one. Now that you know how to create this really cool realistic explosion effect in Photoshop, go online, grab any photo that you like and start creating this really cool effect. Try it several times, practice, experiment, and you will master it. I will not be giving you a tutorial files for this one because, as I already said, you can go online and grab any photo that you like. Also, in case you're my Patreon supporter, you can log in there and download this PSD file to be able to learn even easier. In case you have any questions regarding this episode, please leave me down there in the comment section below. I will be glad to answer it. And also guys, if you like this episode, if you appreciate this content, just press that like button down below, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe in case you're not already. Also ring that bell icon to be notified about all the future episodes. Have fun, experiment, practice, and see you guys in my next fun episode. Bye bye.